Like I was manipulating you.
I didn't want to actually make eye contact too much with anybody really, except maybe the judge and whoever was speaking at the time, and have it just be a matter of fact. I'm looking at you because you're talking.
We can still notice when you all furiously were scribbling.
Yes. We knew you were attentive. That was the main thing. And
interesting. Evelyn had never done. Had never done a jury trial before.
Yeah.
Weren't they amazing?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you were very. Your question. You were so relaxed. You probably were not relaxed, but you. You seemed so very. Hey, I think I'll take a walk to the mailbox. And you were also very relaxed and calm in your questioning.
Bob is a professor, and MJ was.
Yes, I was. I was in law school. I went to law school later in life, and I was in Bob's class. And now that we ironically had the opportunity.
And she was my rock star.
And you were a great professor. Definitely.
The clerks are asking us to move a little bit that way.
Better. Rock solid, and I could swear that you had some legal background.
I'm an old reporter, so I've actually covered court trials, even the police beat, so kind of familiar with this stuff. Yeah.
And quite eloquent about and knowledgeable about his issues.
Well, I hope that we did okay by you.
You did. I mean, you did. You did.
We were hoping that you'd be able to hear the testimony and then acquit us, and then make some kind of public statement that people are concerned about climate change. That was our dream, but.
Well, that's her dream. I'm actually really pleased with what you delivered to us, because we have options now, and there's more we could do with this. So this is probably the best verdict that could be returned to us.
It was hard to take emotion out of it. I mean, for myself, I didn't want to convict you on anything, but I had to vote.
Right.
Emotionally, I was like, no, they're good people. I don't want to deliver guilty. But we had such a tight guidelines that we had to follow.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
We resisted those tight guidelines.
Yeah, much of the day when we were sitting in there wondering what was happening, we were fighting about that and trying to. But it was.
Yeah, it was a long lunch yesterday.
Yes, it was.
We had a short lunch.
We didn't have very much, but it was important what we were trying to do, and to get the judge to allow the testimony and evidence to get to this point was historic, and why all this information
is huge in itself that you guys were able to bring this matter to a jury trial.
Yeah,
what was the battle for that like?
It's a jury of our peers actually doing it. We needed the community to come and decide, if our trespass was, the 4 prongs were really important to discuss and to question, and to have the community look at all those prongs of necessity and decide.
Well, necessity defense has 4 prongs, and the first prong is that the defendants reasonably believed that they were trying to attempt a greater.
Reasonably believed that their
actions
were necessary.
Thank you. Why don't you tell me?
No, because we
believe their actions were necessary to prevent a greater harm, that the harm was greater than the crimes committed, that they weren't involved in creating the harm, and then the toughest one. The judge found we had enough evidence for the first 3. Where we fell down, at least in the judge's ruling, which we disagreed with, but that's his ruling, is that we have to show no reasonable legal alternative to the defendant's actions. And that's why you heard a lot of questions about what else have you done, and reaching the point where the actions of these citizens didn't have an effect. And that's where it all unraveled in the end, and we didn't get that instruction to tell you. And then we would have had to prove to you, by a preponderance of the evidence, those 4 elements. And we knew element 4, even if it got to you, would have been the tough struggle too. No reasonable legal alternative is a very high bar, and the prosecutor developed a lot of legal protests he kept talking about.
And a lot of our experts
kept coming back to that. Did you on the state do this and directly asking? So that's a toughie. But when you brought us the guy who had proof at least work done on the efficacy of
Mike Elliott, the last guy.
Mike Elliott, yeah. And then that was struck. We couldn't use it. It was like nuts. Yeah. We were all scribbling pretty big.
Yeah, we saw you taking notes. That's the only way we could watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
And to me, even though all of you said you intended to stop a train, I didn't feel that it was proven. So it was a clear, the prosecutor was saying, you intended, you all said you intended, but it wasn't proven that you did.
And it wasn't the train the 5 trains that they said we stopped.
Yeah, were you trying to
we had no intentions. It was just the oil train. They said they weren't moving. So,
right.
Yeah.
Sure. In the pursuit of the cause that you were bringing to public awareness, I could see a coal train. You guys being vehemently, yeah, let's. But there was no coal train there, and I don't think we were trying any of those 5. There were alternate routes that were used, and so the intent obstruction of those was
and the train going by when they were still there.
Yeah.
Right. It went by.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That picture was like, that's proof right there.
That was our
went on by.
We didn't even need to argue that one. We were worried about the delay issue. You see, that was really the state's theory, is that they delayed trains.
Well, this doesn't end here either, right?
Well, it can be appealed, yes.
Yeah. And it's a good
The whole
precedent.
issue will be about whether we should have gotten a necessity instruction. That's the issue.
And that lets us write some new law, and that's and the guilty plea opens the way.
The law has to take into account that. Here's the way I look at it. Eventually, like legal means, we could have achieved what we wanted to achieve with climate change. But the problem is, we don't have the time. By the time we achieve it at this pace, we will have died long before we get to that point.
Yep. And that's the point about legal methods. I mean, you guys were trying to draw attention to that legal methods were ineffective, and a lot of the experts spoke to that. So that's, I think, down the road, a potential argument.
Not only that, there's this very narrow window of time where traffic is going to exponentially increase on this toxic product coming through our neighborhoods to make a buck, while the buck is being able to be made before it closes, because it's not going to be available forever. It's that whole fossil fuel thing. Right. China's not going to want coal forever. They want to get off it as soon as they can, and they even know that, But there's this, oh, quick, let's make money here. We'll push it through Washington because, and I know this because I've been listening to this stuff all week long. So thank you for it's the cheapest way to bring it through.
We don't want to be the corridor, and that's
fastest.
what we're going to be.
And and can we slow that down? Can we hamper that? And hopefully, this will get the message out.
The president made a decision today that there's no new coal leases.
On federal land.
On
federal land, yeah.
No new coal leases.
On federal land.
Federal land.
So Judge Howard said that we should vigorously pursue legal means to try to still make change. So I'm inviting everybody to come to Faith Action Network's Lobby Day on February 4th. And we are going to be there all day and lobby our legislators. And so I think it's if you Google Faith Action Network, you can register online, and we need more people to come, and I'm hoping that we can get the people that attended this trial to actually show up and meet our legislators and talk about these issues in a way that is so urgent that we can't take no for an answer anymore, and we can't do it just a few people. It has to be all of us as we're really learning that as the group grows, we can make change.
May I say, welcome to the movement?
I want one of those.
Yeah, I want to give them a hug.
Thank you. We all appreciate it.
What a gift.
We all did a good job.
I'm so happy that we can help you guys.
That was Mike that said that, right?
Huh?
That was Mike that said that, right?
No, Jackie.
It was Jackie?
Yeah.
We really need jurors.
Yeah.
I want to give them a hug.
We should make our way back in and get the sentencing done.
All right.